guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Britt, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you probably should, because I talk about geeky things, and today we're going to talk about Power Rangers Beast Morphers. That's right, another episode has aired, another reason for me to hate Judd Lynn has happened. Let's just jump right into it. A couple of disclaimers. Dylan, I am going to be spoiling a lot about Power Rangers, so please do not watch this video if you are watching this video. Just comment down below, say hi, and then hightail it out of here, because I'm going to be spoiling a lot of things you have not seen yet. So, bye. I love you. Thank you for watching these videos and spoiling yourself about Beast Morphers. I'll see y'all next time. For the rest of you, that disclaimer goes out to literally anyone who may or may not have seen stuff. So if you haven't seen stuff, watch this video some other time unless you don't care about spoilers. Then watch this, that's fine. But for those of you who are sticking around, if you don't want to watch the full episode recap, you can go ahead and click right here, or not click right here, but click this timestamp down below. I'm gonna try to remember the chapters down below. I never do, but maybe one day I'll do my job properly. Anyway, let's just jump into it. But reminder, this is gonna come with spoilers in both parts of the video. So let's just do it. So this episode is called Making Bad, and it is a clip episode, but and we'll talk about it in a minute, not in a minute, but when I'm done with the episode recap. But it wasn't a clip episode that I hated, so that's a plus. This episode opens with Evox and the Dino Charge villains hanging out, trying to come up with a villain that they could bring back, because they need to bring back more villains, but these villains are coming back and the Rangers are defeating them. So they needed to come up with the ability to strengthen these villains that they are bringing back. And Scrozzle gets the idea to do that with these gems or diamonds that he can use to power up the reanimator, or whatever they call the thing that they got from Ryjack. So this is obviously getting me excited, because that means I get Goldar in this episode, which I do. We're gonna talk about it. The first villain they talk about bringing back is Korag from Power Rangers Mystic Force. And I got really excited because I was like, I didn't realize they were gonna bring back something that wasn't Dino related. That's very exciting because I love Mystic Force. I love Korag specifically. So they do some clips from Mystic Force, kind of. And then Roxy reminds them that Korag actually changed to a good guy, which of course is true. And I was even thinking that when they first started that, like, but Korag was never defeated. Korag just became Lianbo. Like, Lianbo just broke the curse and became himself again and became the Wolf Ranger. Like, what? And then Roxy brought it up, but she also said Korag wrong. Korag, I think is what she said. Directing. It's a thing you can do, Judd Lynn's team. Anyway, but yeah, so obviously they can't bring back Korag because he became a good guy. This scene is being intercut with some pretty decent narrative storytelling to bring in the Rangers into the story, where there is an invisible monster that is stealing diamonds. I wonder why. And Ravi comes up with the idea that they are being stolen alphabetically. Where did they come up with this shit? So they know exactly where this monster is gonna hit next, because the next letter is D. The next villain they are opting to bring back is Astronema, which of course, much like Korag, there is an issue with that because, well, she becomes a good guy. And of course they show clips from In Space, and then of course Roxy is then reminded that not only did Korag become a good guy, but so did Astronema. And not only did Astronema become a good guy, but she eventually became the Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger. So there you go. And again, they show clips from Lost Galaxy and In Space, and we'll talk about it. Oh, we'll talk about it. So then they're like, let's bring back somebody who's truly, truly, truly evil, Lord Zed. So they grab Zed's staff, and then they're like, but Lord Zed's gonna turn on everybody because look what he did to Mondo and Machina. We're gonna talk about that too. So the original three Rangers, Devin, Zoe, Ravi, they find the invisible monster at the next place it's gonna hit. They fight the monster and eventually defeat the Robotron. So there you go. Next, they're thinking bringing back a Psycho Ranger, and they're thinking about bringing back Psycho Red, which again, I got excited. I shouldn't have, because I knew that I was duped by the idea of bringing back Korag. So I figured they weren't going to bring back the Psychos, but man, if they had, I would have been very excited. I was still very excited that they had any kind of airtime. That always makes me excited whenever the Psychos are given airtime. Please, can we just do more Psycho Ranger stuff just in general? They show clips of the Psycho Rangers in Space and of course Lost Galaxy, and they were like, well, we can't bring back Psycho Red because he got destroyed. I know it's about the obsession with destroying a Red Ranger. We'll talk about it. God, Judd Lynn, why do you constantly give me reasons to hate you? Like, this episode could have been good, but it wasn't. So the Rangers head to the next location, which is of course E. Even though the monster was destroyed, but they're like, but they're still gonna go after them. So they go to E. Elite Jewelers, I think is what it was called. Anyway, they go there. They get word that a Gigadrone is attacked, so Nate and Steel go off to fight that. The other 3 Rangers are going to go tell the Jewelers, hey, you might want to vacate the premises because you're about to get hit and diamonds are about to get stolen. And so they do, and then of course that is when 2 villains, I can never remember the villains' names from Dino Charge except for Sledge and Snide and Heckle. Like, that's it. That's all I can remember. Poisandra and the other one that went with her go to steal the gems, or go to steal the diamonds, and the Rangers are there to fight them off. And then, you know, Nate and Steel defeat the Gigadrone after their blasters are stolen, but they defeat the Gigadrone and they come back. The other members, except for Sledge and Snide, of the Dino Charge team, or the Dino Charge villain team, come back and are like, what up, let's fight. So then they're all fighting, and the Rangers managed to defeat all of them. All of them. You know, the thing that took the Dino Charge Rangers 2 full seasons to do. Took 10 Dino Charge Rangers. And it wasn't even that they destroyed them. It was like they went back in time and stopped the dinosaurs from becoming extinct to stop them. Beast Morpher Rangers, 5 of them, are like, adios suckers. Anyway, Judd Lynn, you give me a lot of reasons to hate you. It's fine. And if that's Sentai footage, I apologize, because it did look like some of that was Sentai footage, so I have no idea. Let me know in the comments below if that was Sentai footage. I'm very curious. Sledge is considerably upset that Poisandra is dead, because obviously Poisandra is his wife, so he's very sad that she was destroyed. And then Venjix? No. I mean, it might be. It might be Venjix. I don't know. Evox, thank you. Is that a Freudian slip? Please no spoilers. I don't want to know. I'm already assuming, because it's the same voice actor, and because they're both computer viruses, and why else bring in Dr. K? I mean, I'm already assuming. Anyway, so Vengeance did it again. Evox brings back Goldar. If you guys don't know my love for Goldar, learn yourself something about me. Anyway, Goldar is my favorite villain in all of Power Rangers. Legitimately, my favorite villain in all of Power Rangers. So, I love Goldar. And of course, he comes back with a slight makeover. But that's fine, because the whole point of these gems are to make these villains come back stronger. And they could only bring back one, so they brought back Goldar. And Goldar's back to life. So, I'm okay with that, kind of. We'll get to it. So we leave this episode with the Rangers trying to figure out why Evox would want a bunch of diamonds. And of course they're gonna find out, and hopefully in the next episode we'll actually get to see Jason. Okay, so let's talk about how I felt about this episode. It took a lot for me to dig up something that I liked about this episode, and it pains me to say that the thing I liked most about it was the fact that it was a good clip episode. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't like clip episodes. Clip episodes are boring. Clip episodes are dumb. And it just bugs me that we're watching basically the whole series of something over again, and they're forcing you to do it because there's always going to be something involved with the story that is important to make you watch the clip episode, and I hate it. I hate clip episodes. The only clip episodes I like are this one, apparently, and the ones from Community, because the ones from Community, the show Community, if you guys have never seen it, please watch it, so good. The clip episodes from Community are from episodes that never happened. So yes, they're clip episodes. Hey, remember that time we did this? And I was like, no, and then they have this like whole scene of a season, of an episode from that season that they never did, and it's beautiful. Anyway, I hate clip episodes so much. And this one is a little different, because this one, the reason I hate clip episodes is because the clips are so important to the episode. So like, it's literally just characters going like, do you remember when such and such attacked, and then we like destroyed such and such, and then they have clips, and that's it. That's all you get. Drives me crazy and I hate it. Anyway, hate clip episodes. Hate them. But this one was really cool because this one was more story than it was clip episode, which I really appreciate. And it was more about the story, and the clips were not like super interfering. And my other thing about clip episodes is it's really hard for the creators, for the writers, to write them properly, because theoretically if you're doing clip episodes, characters remembering, and you have to do it from that character's perspective. Gundam Wing did a great job of this. Still hate the clip episodes, still kind of want to skip them, but one of them ends with seeing Epion for the first time, and that's my favorite Gundam, so I'll deal with those clip episodes if I ever watch Gundam Wing ever again. Oh. And story time on my channel, go watch it. Anyway, they have to do with them from a certain perspective, and a lot of times that gets mixed up. So like a character is remembering something that they were not even involved in, and that just is a problem just because the character or the creators were like, let's throw this clip in there because it's kind of important to kind of the overall story we're telling. And so they just throw it in there. They just do that. And it's not done well. So this one was very different because they were more or less looking into archives. So it wasn't from a character's perspective. It wasn't from a character's memory. It was literally just archives, kind of like in Dino Thunder, which is another clip episode I actually do like. Now that I think about it, that is another clip episode I do like. Dino Thunder clip episode where the Dino Thunder Rangers, the three of them are learning about Ranger history. Same kind of concept. I still do kind of like that. So again, it wasn't like the episode. It was so like the story was more important than that. And they did a really good job of balance. And so this episode was much like that. They did a really good job of balance. It was able to be Ranger history, so it wasn't a perspective. There was no perspective issue, which I feel like if Judd Lynn had done it proper, like a normal clip episode, it would have been terrible because it's Judd Lynn. So you remember when Judd Lynn was good at his job? Do you remember Lost Galaxy? Do you remember Time Force? Yes, I skipped one. I don't like it. I know a lot of you do. Do you remember those seasons? Do you remember In Space? Let's go back, even though he was just the writer, the head writer of the show at the time. But do you remember In Space? Do you remember when Judd Lynn was good at his job? I do, and I missed that. I miss when Judd Lynn was good at his job. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the things I didn't like about this episode, which was pretty much everything else. So let's start with the clips they chose to use. Okay, so they used actual footage from Power Rangers past history of Power Rangers. They actually used actual clips from Power Rangers. Kind of. The Mystic Force one, a little different. We'll talk about that in a second. But they dubbed over the voices! What? Why? Why? You used actual footage. I'm sorry, did Christopher Kamen Lee have to sign off on his voice being used in Power Rangers? Because I'm sure he probably would have. Did Melody Perkins have to sign off? Are you kidding me? They dubbed them over with different voices. Was there a production issue? Was that the reason? I need answers. I need legitimate answers as to why they did that. That makes me, if you also know anything about me, you know I hate recastings. You know I hate recastings. I hate, one of my biggest problems in anime, gonna talk about anime for a second, it's fine. Anxiety can lower, it's okay. Anyway, every time I bring up anime, it just drives, now that I've talked about it, now that I have told the story, I feel like I can be honest with you guys about my anxiety when I'm talking about it. Anyway, one of the things that bugs me in anime is when a different company takes over a show and they recast it. I just can't see that face, see that body, see that character, and hear a voice that is not that voice that I grew up with. So like Dragon Ball Z, I grew up on the Vancouver dub. So people like get on me when I say that I don't like Chris Sabat as Vegeta, because that's not the Vegeta that I grew up with. That's not the Vegeta I knew as a kid. I knew Brian Drummond as a kid. So like, it's just, I hate recastings. I've hated recastings my entire life. It's why I hate Rocky. Even though that's a completely different situation, but still. But yeah, so I hate recasting. So hearing different voices, and especially in when it comes to Lord Zed and Udana, I mean, what a disservice you did to the actors who portrayed those characters and changed the lives of people. I mean, Lord Zed is still my favorite main villain, maybe Astronema. But Lord Zed is one of my favorite villains, and Robert Axelrod died. I don't remember if he had already died at this point, but it is horrible that they dubbed over Udana and they dubbed over Zed when both of those actors are no longer with us. Like, that's atrocious. Atrocious. Like, I find that to be such a disrespect. Like, not even just do I hate recastings, but like legitimately, that's disrespect to these people who have passed away. But to go on beyond that, like, these are characters that meant a lot to people. These are characters, Astronema, Andros, those characters meant a lot to me. In Space has been my favorite season of Power Rangers since I was 11 years old. Along with Zeo, but that's a whole different story. But still, those characters mean a lot to me. And to have them just dubbed over and poorly, like I said in a previous video that the voiceovers have always been really good. This was not a good example of that, because like the guy who dubbed over Andros was terrible at what he did. And honestly, it just wasn't good. It's so frustrating. Like, don't do that. Like, don't do that. Anyway, I don't know what else I can say about that. So Korag. So the scene they chose, which was when, of course, Korag becomes Lianbo for good, because, of course, it's when Nick finds out he's Bowen, and so because of that, Lianbo is able to fight through Korag again because it's his son, and blah, blah, blah. Then they just throw this random monster in there for no freaking reason that wasn't even there. It was a fight between Nick and Korag. That was it. Now, mind you, again, I have no idea if that was Sentai footage because I have not seen Maji Ranger, so I don't know if there was a monster in the Sentai footage right there, but either way, that was not Mystic Force. It was a fight between Nick and Korag. Korag basically wins the fight, but Udana stops him, says, "This is Bowen, our son," and then he becomes Lianbo again, and then the Master attacks, and Lianbo basically sacrifices his life to save everyone. Now, mind you, I said basically because I get it. It's fine. Anyway, who was this random monster? We don't even see the red version of that suit until the, like, second to last episode of the damn series. If you're gonna show the scene, show it right. That's all I gotta say. One more thing about the clips. Are we going to just forget that Zed was also purified and made good at the end of In Space? Are we just gonna forget that? Zed wasn't destroyed. Zed was purified. Judd Lynn, I think you wrote that episode. I can't with Judd Lynn. I can't. I legitimately get angry with Judd Lynn because, like, there's so much potential and you fail anyway. Let's calm down. Oh wait, no, one more about the clips. They don't want to bring Psycho Red back because he was destroyed. Was Goldar not destroyed? Was it? I mean, again, I get that it was more or less about the fact that he was so obsessed with defeating a red Power Ranger. But wouldn't that be a good thing, especially if they're bringing him back more powerful? There should have been a different reason why they didn't bring back Psycho Red. It would have been as simple as saying, well, we only have the ability to bring back one Psycho Ranger when there are 5 of them, and they were better as a team. They were more powerful if they were a team. So, like, that would have been better. But no, they don't want to bring him back because he was so obsessed. He just got destroyed. So let's talk about these monsters attacking alphabetically. Is Power Rangers meant for 3-year-olds who are learning their ABCs? No? Okay, great. Let's not be that dumb, okay? So bad. Just so dumb. That's all I gotta say about that. So then they bring back Goldar. And I said last episode, I was thinking maybe they're gonna bring back Goldar in this episode, because I know they bring back Goldar. I've seen it. I've seen the footage that they are using to an extent. I've seen shots of the footage. I have seen stuff about it, and I was like, oh, what happened to Goldar? Actually, it's Griffazor, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, Goldar. And I said, if it is not Kerrigan, I am going to lose my mind. And so by the middle of this episode, I realized, well, they're going to bring back Goldar. That's who they're going to choose to bring back. The one monster they can bring back, and they're going to bring back Goldar, clearly. Obviously, that's how it's going to work. And so that explains why he has a little bit of makeover, because he's stronger and the diamonds were used. Blah. But the fact that they were dubbing over all the other scenes, all the other clips, only told me that, of course, it's not going to be Kerrigan. I hate everything about this episode. And I'm done. I'll see you guys all next time. Did you guys like this episode? Tell me things I missed that were good about this episode. And can somebody please tell me that I can finally see Jason in the next episode? Obviously, it's a 3-parter. Also, one more thing. This is a team-up 3-parter. There was no team-up. The team-up existed. Oh, I forgot to mention that Sledge was destroyed. Goldar destroyed Sledge. There you go. Anyway, is there something that I am missing that is good about this episode? Because I didn't see it. I did not see it. Is the next episode better? Let me know that in the comments below. But yeah, the team-up existed between Beast Morphers villains and Dino Charge villains. There were no other Rangers. Like, I cannot with Judd Lynn anymore. I am so glad this is his final season as showrunner, because I cannot with Judd Lynn anymore. I just cannot with him. Like, I can't. This was my breaking point. This was it. If you wanted to know my breaking point with Judd Lynn, this was it. This episode. This was it. This is terrible. I was hoping it would be better than Dimensions in Danger, which, mind you, Dimensions in Danger was pretty damn good. But, like, we're, like, inching our way back towards Legendary Battle at this point. Like, this is bad. Anyway, that's it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about this episode. I thought that it was atrocious. I thought that it was completely disrespectful. I thought that it was terrible. There was nothing good about this episode, except for the fact that it was not a terrible clip episode. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.
I'm far more powerful than you could ever handle, White Ranger!
We'll just have to see about that now, won't we?
Are those hires really necessary? Here, I'll do some. Whoa, come and get me. You missed me.
Is that the best you can do?
You're going to be sorry you said that.
Lambo, stop! Don't do it! This is Bowen. Your child. Our child.
What? What are you saying?
You were with me all along and I never knew. It's truly magical.
If you guys want to see my last Beast Morphers video, you guys can click right here. If you guys want to see all the Beast Morphers videos I've ever done, you can go and click right here. It'll contain most of season 1 and all of season 2 so far. You can click here to subscribe. Please do hit the bell for notifications. I promise I'm not always this angry. And give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. And comment down below things you liked about this episode, because I am desperately grasping at straws. See you guys all next time. Bye.